order. So the first item would be to approve the agenda, and I don't think I need to read the agenda, so this should be really easy. If we could have a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
And all those in favor? Aye.
Yep.
Okay, we're all good. All right, so the first item under old business is the town picnic recap. So all of us were in attendance, so we don't really have to go through what took place. As we described, it was pretty lightly attended. So I think if we were to do it again, which we could decide, you know, next year, I mean, clearly summer is probably a better time for it. Maybe Sundays are better. I didn't know it was the first day of deer season, so probably avoid deer season again. And I think, I don't know, maybe the time. So maybe we could solicit some feedback from folks who weren't able to attend, who were considering attending, and see if a different day or time was better. But
Yeah, and the other thing would be, is there a better way to advertise it? I guess is the other question to consider, right?
Yep, I would agree with that. Better way to promote it.
Yeah. I know we did the online messages. Was there posters put up in different places too, or no?
I don't think there were any posters for this replacement date. For the original date, there were things floating around, but not for the backup or the second date. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing to talk about next year, is if we're going to do it, better, you know, how to promote it and what the good date would be.
Yep.
Yeah, and give folks some more reasons to come.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Need a band and beer. Band and beer.
We'll figure out what that
We can't have
third be.
beer. We can't have beer. I know you want to, but we can't have beer. All right. So the next item on fundraising, the VOREC grant. So because there were so many applications for this grant, the VOREC extended their review time and their notification time. So this week, we would find out if we were invited to make a full application. So we haven't, there's no notification either way at this point, but they did have to extend it. I think they said that they had something like 200 applications.
Wow.
So it was a lot more than previous years, and they needed more time to review the applications. So more to come on that one. In terms of the better.
So originally we were supposed to learn this week, but it's been extended. We don't know now when we'll hear.
Yeah, we were supposed to hear last week was the deadline for notification, and they extended it on a full week.
Oh,
So they
okay.
said during this week, they will communicate those invitations.
Okay, cool.
So I think we'll hear either way by the end of this week.
Okay, cool.
And they're also extending, if you are invited for a full application, they are extending that application date as well.
Good.
Because of the response here that they had to extend this date.
Okay.
That's that item. The Better Places grant, I did look this up. And so they're talking about a January 2022 timeframe for the Better Places grant. I'm not that familiar with Zoom, but I was going to share my screen. Oh, it's disabled by the host. Let's see.
Let's see. I think I can get it to go here. Okay, it should be all set now.
Okay. Let me see. Guess I'll have to share the screen that I have right now, kind of maneuver. But let's see if I can go through this. If you can share my screen, I'm on the ACCD website, and it talks about the Better Places placemaking grants. And it looks like launching the program this fall and applications in January 2022. So it appears that they're going to have some workshops on October 28th and 29th. And they're 10 to 12. And so I didn't know, I mean, Rebecca's not on. I can try to attend, but I didn't know if Peter or Brian, you might be able to participate in one of those workshops.
I'll have to check the kitchen calendar.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. That depends on what's going on at work, but yeah, I can try.
Right. Yeah. If you could just check on that and let me know. And this website was kind of interesting. It shows their pilot projects and they are pretty interesting. I thought this was kind of cool. This natural amphitheater, outdoor, gathering space. And so anyway, if you get a chance, the pilot projects are pretty interesting, that were recipients of the 2021 Better Places grants. But
Okay.
the placemaking workshop, talks about and gives ideas, about potential ideas and opportunities for inclusive public spaces in every season. So I think that they're going to be helpful. And it is 2 consecutive days. It's not one or the other day. It looks like it's both days as the workshop. So
Okay, I'm confused a little bit here in between Better Places Grant and AARP.
I think AARP is running this workshop and that's why it's here.
Okay,
It's apparently led by AARP, but it's part of the Better Places program, it looks like.
okay.
So sorry to confuse that. So
Yeah.
anyway,
How did you get to this link? Are you going to send us this link or?
yeah, I'll send it to you. It's through the Agency of Commerce and Community Development, and they're administering the Better Places program.
Okay.
And like I said, it looks like January 2022 is the next application deadline, but in anticipation of that, they're offering some placemaking workshops.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't have to share anymore. That was a Better Places grant. The year-end mailing, we kind of talked about that a month ago. I looked, it would be a fundraiser. I know some other nonprofits, target year-end mailings. It tends to be a time of year when we're most generous. Looking at postcards, postcards themselves aren't that much money. It's the postage. So I would need to look at the bulk rate mailing, and I didn't have a chance to talk to the post office about that or how that works because I'm not that familiar with it. But I think we'd be looking at an investment of like $250. So I think we need to consider if we think it's a worthwhile investment with our.
What do we have left for cash?
So we're at right now about $500 is what we have left. And we don't have any other ongoing expenditures. The 802 restrooms, I think, was removed earlier this week. So we don't have any ongoing obligations at this point.
Okay.
So it'd be gambling with almost half our cash though.
Right. So I'll get final numbers on that. I know bulk rate, there's different rates for different things. So I just want to make sure I have all of the information and then I can report on that at the November meeting and we can make a decision. Vistaprint is just who I looked at. It seemed like a really quick turnaround. It wasn't a long time at all and very reasonable. So.
Just wonder if we got any,
that-
anybody has experience, if we've got anybody or locally who's done this for other reasons.
Check with Julie Weber.
Okay.
You know, she does townwide mailings. I don't know if the list is available, or what anything is like that, but you know, she certainly has done that sort of stuff.
Okay. I know that you can work with the post office and do like a zip code wide mailing. It doesn't have to be addressed specifically to someone. It's just delivered to every residence in the
Yeah,
zip code.
current resident. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I just
So,
wonder if the, if like the fire department or the ambulance corp, if any of them have ever done this, and what type of response they've gotten, you know, from, if they're seeking donations, what type of response they.
that's a good point. I know that, you know, I think we receive those annually at that time of year. I know I've received other nonprofits, you know, at this time of year. I've been involved in one for some fundraising before, and I think that the participation rate was like 10%, a 10% participation. But it was well worth the investment that was made, because the donations were far in excess of what the cost of the mailing was. So it's really, you know, what our confidence level is in that. So,
Yeah.
but I could ask about that. That's a good point, Brian. Okay, the next item is trunk or treat. And I did reach out to my contact at the Pownal Elementary Parent Teachers Group, and they're in 100%. They already have a group formed. Faith Church is, you know, willing to continue. They do it every year, the trunk or treat on Halloween, and they want to continue to do that. And my understanding, although I haven't spoken with them directly, is that Pownal Youth Sports would also like to be a host site for trunk or treat. So I'm going to be speaking with the parent teachers group this Thursday to kind of iron out some details, but you know, basically Pownal Rec's role in this is just to help coordinate and promote. So we're not hosting or anything like that. We're just helping to promote. So I think it could be a nice little community event. It probably, you know, it would be on Halloween. I think like a 4 to 5:30 or a 4 to 6 time frame. So it's during the daylight hours for safety reasons. But you know, the folks that I've talked to, it's been really well received, and a good opportunity given all of the COVID restrictions that have been imposed, because it's an outdoor event. So a good opportunity for community building.
Yeah, I think 4 to 6 would probably be good, because you want to allow folks who work to be able to, you know, participate too, if they get out of work and then be able to take the kids.
Yep.
Or 4:30 to 6, something like that.
Yeah, some time frame.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. The next item is the skating rink, and Peter was going to follow up on that one.
Is that me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked with Brian Harris at the picnic, and because they had said that they would like to have a skating rink down there. I don't know that there's need or room for two. And they have plenty of room. It's flat. And so Brian was going to toss the idea around to his board or whoever's the leadership at Pownal Youth Sports to see if they're willing to have a conversation about it. And I don't know how you all feel about it, but in terms of parking and access and all sorts of stuff, it seems like that might be a really good idea to have Pownal Youth Sports sort of lead that one. They have people, and we don't have any people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it just seems to me that if the kids and parents and everybody are used to going down to the 346 field to do this sort of stuff, that it makes a lot of sense. The fire department certainly would do their thing. And I had a brief conversation with Mike Gardner about making sure that Joel and his crew would plow that parking area down there to give us good access.
All right.
So that was
And I'm willing to go down with a shovel.
Okay.
And I don't know, this was just a preliminary conversation, so I don't really have any details in terms of what would be needed, but we certainly have the lumber and the hardware for a rink. I'm not sure what the status of the plastic is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We might need to buy a new liner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that even if they had it down there at the ball field, we with Parks and Recs fund the liner. That's, I think, it's a question for us, is whether we would still, I think we'd still consider funding the liner, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will follow up with Brian,
Okay.
and because he's still coaching soccer down there for, I think, another week, and so his time gets freed up a little bit after that, so we can try and figure out what the direction is to go. Now, if they're willing to do this sort of thing, is that agreeable to folks?
I agree.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll follow up.
And we don't have to move any skateboard stuff.
Right.
Well, that's the other thing too. We, and whose dog is that? Those kids are going to be down there using those ramps, until they can't.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And my guess is they'll be down there with shovels too. And so that has been enough of a success, and it's going to be useful, maybe 9 months of the year, so that we don't have to try and lug that stuff around to make room for something that's good for 3 months a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. It just begs another question. The picnic tables, I know they're pressure treated. Should those stay out, or should we try to, I don't know, gather them and wrap them in plastic or anything? Is there, or can those stay?
I don't know about these things, but you have somebody in your household who could
Yeah.
tell you that. Just saying.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was better for them. I'm sure they can stay out because they're pressure treated. I just didn't know, like, how much use would they get in the winter, and
Probably not a lot, but
Yeah.
again, they weigh many
They're all heavy.
hundreds of pounds.
yeah, they're heavy.
Maybe we just let them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow up on that. So we kind of already talked about finances. We haven't really talked about a budget. I think probably need to start thinking about some activities for 2022, or, what we would be asking for, or what our needs would be in terms of a budget. So it's not something we need to talk about tonight, just something we need to think about, and maybe have an item on the agenda for next month.
Yeah, we definitely need to have start thinking about that, because in conversation with Bob Jarvis at the picnic, late October into November is the time when they start talking about budgets at the
Okay.
select. So, we have been sort of skipping along, borrowing and stealing, and have said that the town ought to back us up some. So now it's our turn to come up with some information for them to act upon.
Agreed.
At the very least, the porta potty should be a budget item.
Yep.
And then, maybe some ancillary funds for events like the picnic and stuff. So,
Yep. I agree.
Is anybody, well, it's a rhetorical question at this point, but during business hours, are the bathrooms at the town office going to be available to the
Mhm.
public?
good question.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah,
I mean, right now the town office is closed because of COVID, so you need an appointment. So I don't know how long that would last, but
anyway,
guess-
just something to,
yeah. Yep.
because it's significant money for not a lot of use.
Mhm.
But I understand, yes, I do understand that it's good to have.
Yeah, I went through North Adams yesterday and by the skate park, and there was 2 porta potties there. So it's it's definitely wherever you go that there's recreation, you need to make sure you have those facilities. So
Yep,
Um,
okay.
anyway. All right, on new business, the AARP grant, which I think I sent out a quick email last month about that AARP is accepting grant applications from Vermont towns for like winter placemaking projects. And they give some examples of what they're looking for. I think that since we talked about AARP is hosting the workshops that we talked about, I think this is rolled into it as well, along with the Better Places, just talking about placemaking in general. The grant deadline is early November. I don't know if we have any, I mean, Peter, you might have some ideas. I don't know. It's specifically for winter. So I'm not sure we have a project identified for that.
Well, excuse me, my initial reaction to this was, excuse me, we are moving the old schoolhouse over to the town office site in 2022. I don't know what the schedule is, but all we need to do is tell them it's for the winter, and we'll be ready for the winter of 2022. And it's a big deal, saving an old schoolhouse and making room for senior activities in it at what now will be the town center. So how do we frame that? And what would we use money for if we got it?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Me either, yeah. But let me mess around with that.
Okay. There may be some ideas from the placemaking workshop.
Yeah, although that's 28 and 29, and say early November is the deadline for grant
think it's due
application, or is
this-
it letter of intent?
No, I think they're due. Let me just look really quickly. The 11th.
An application.
And the grant application is due on the 11th. Yep.
Okay. Now, as I understand it, because we have no authority,
Mhm.
that if we're going to apply for a grant, it needs to be approved by the select board.
Correct. We would need to seek select board approval before making any applications. Yep.
Okay. Yippee.
We could look at when we could look at the select board calendar to see when we could align that. But I think we can maybe chat during the month, maybe throw some ideas out via email as well.
And I can check with the folks, the swinging seniors, Janice Pratt over at the firehouse, and see what some of her ideas might be, because that's what she does.
That'd be great.
And I can check with Joyce Held and Wendy at Pownal Historical Society. There isn't anybody young in that organization. Sorry. Yeah, okay, I can do that.
So what would the grant money potentially used for, though? To host activities within the schoolhouse? Is that what we're saying? You're thinking?
I don't know. Would it be?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just don't know. It just seems like there's a coincidental opportunity here, but I don't know how to take advantage of it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
the grant itself says that the goal is to jumpstart winter placemaking projects that create public spaces that are safe and accessible for everyone. Help communities build social capital that can lead to permanent change.
What the
Supports
hell does
health.
all this stuff mean, by the way? I
Yeah.
read all that stuff and I
I
have no
know.
clue what it means.
I think it's community building. I think that's what
Okay.
it comes down to, is community building.
Okay.
Whether it's having something that you can host meetings there, or have events, or something that you can do during the winter months
Yes,
that's everyone can participate in. So
not just seniors.
not just seniors, but I think they would hope that it would be inclusive enough that seniors could participate.
Sure. Okay.
Yep.
You need a band.
And beer.
Beer. Yep.
All right. So that's all that I have on the agenda. So it looks like we're going to need to follow up, or some things will take place during the month. So we'll find out about the VORAC grant, which, might necessitate a special meeting. Get that project moving along, and then this placemaking workshops. So I think it would be best if we could meet early in November. I think, Megan, are we conflicting with the Planning Commission on the first Tuesday of the month? Is that when we're conflicting?
Yes, they're the first and third Tuesdays.
First and third, sorry, I'm just pulling up my calendar. And they're at 6 o'clock?
7.
7. So we could do a 6 o'clock time slot. So the first Tuesday in November is the 2nd.
Yep.
How does that work for folks?
I thought they were the first and third.
They are, but they're at 7 o'clock.
Oh,
So we could meet at 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that work, Peter?
Yeah, I think so. I'll
Okay.
make it work.
Okay, so we're gonna shoot for the 2nd at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Is there any preference?
Not for me.
Okay. Is there any other business? Anybody have anything else that we need to discuss?
Did y'all get the minutes?
Oh, yes, I forgot. I'm sorry. Yes. I read the minutes. Brian, did you have a chance to read the minutes?
No, I didn't. But
Okay. I didn't have any comment or any correction. They were very good, Peter. Are you reading them, Brian?
I'm opening them.
Oh, okay. As I said, if just to wait for, they're pretty quick, so pretty sure.
I can't hear anybody.
Oh, we're not speaking. It's okay.
Oh.
Megan, is there any public comment? Anyone?
There's no one in here.
Okay. So I'm just waiting. Peter, we're just waiting for Brian
Well,
to
that's
read the
good.
minutes. Did you read them?
That's good.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? All good? Aye. We're so formal.
Okay, very good.
All right.
I'll get to work.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll send out, the information for next month's meeting, and if anything comes up, we'll be in touch.
Good deal.
Good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.